Welcome to Q&A Mondays here at MH News. I'm your host, Matt Haslam. Now, if you'd like your question read on the show, please send them in to questions@mhnews.info. And if you'd like to see our brand new episodes airing every weekday from now on, Monday through Friday, please go to www.mhnews.info, or you can like and subscribe to our channel right here on YouTube. First question today comes from Samuel Gabra. Looking for some good and cheap tripods. Any tips? We already did that. A little while back we did an episode on the Magnus VT3000 video tripod. It's a fantastic buy, just $130, and it gets you a professional tripod. We're actually using it right now. It's a fantastic one, but if your definition of cheap is like 30 bucks or some of that, then go to Walmart. It won't last you very long and it won't get you a great shot, but at least you'll be able to get something good-ish that'll last you like a week. So get like a Targus or something like that. They're not that great, but at least it'll get you by. Next question, Joris Renaud. You've probably seen the terrible video involving a train and a film crew. What do you recommend to avoid those situations? Yes, I have seen this, and if you haven't seen it yet, I very much recommend watching it. It is a little bit graphic, I do have to warn you, but it's basically of this film crew who applied to be on this railroad bridge. They were denied access to it. They went on it anyway, and for some reason, they brought with them a hospital bed and a wheelchair, and their whole film crew was on this bridge when a train came by. And it's a sad story, but the film crew got out of the way besides one person who stayed around to save the hospital bed, which cost like 25 bucks on Amazon. So I'm not sure why they were trying to save the hospital bed when they should have been running for their lives. But one person was killed in that accident. The person that stayed behind to save the hospital bed was killed. So, it's just a matter of keep safety in mind. Basically, what I recommend is always to have an exit. Make sure wherever you're at, you have a way out of it, not just on a bridge. In that kind of situation, it would have been a lot more important for me to spend my budget on a jib or something like that, where I can reach out from land to the bridge. Make sure you can, if you don't have the budget, then just don't do the scene. But it's important on one of those locations to have a jib to reach out, and that way you don't have 20 people on this bridge. But for one of those situations, make sure you have an exit. If you don't have an exit, such as a bridge or something like that, make sure you can close down that whole bridge. Make sure you control the entire situation, and if you applied and you got denied, then go somewhere else that might allow you to do it. But make sure you control the situation. If you're on a road or a bridge or anything that you can't have an exit to, if something goes wrong, then make sure you control the situation and it's all closed down. Further from that, it's also important to have a meeting with your entire crew before you go on the film set. Spend 5 minutes. Talk to them and say, if something wrong happens here, something goes wrong here, then, we're not going to try to save the hospital bed. We're not going to try to save the cameras. It might be expensive, but we can always replace cameras. We can always replace the hospital bed. We can't replace people. So safety is vital. Just make your entire crew aware of that. Make sure they know what's important, and that you don't care about the camera. You don't care about the hospital bed. Make sure they know that before going into it. I know a lot of times on film sets, I'll have a meeting with one of my advisors who is a safety professional, and they'll tell me exactly what's safe for me to do, where I put my cameras at sometimes precarious little spots, and they'll tell me what's safe or not. So safety has to come first. And again, if you didn't watch this video, I very much recommend watching it because it is a little bit graphic, but it doesn't actually show the woman getting killed, but it does show something that it reminds us all to be safe. Next question. Any suggestions on how to get the best edit out of a music video? I would go to the beat of the song. Typically what I'll do in a music video situation is I'll get the 2 tracks from the audio recording company or whatever it is, the band or whoever recorded it. I'll get 2 tracks from them. One is the final edit of the audio. So that's the audio they want to put out there and publish. The second is the beat of the song. It's the same length as the final edit, but it's just a matter of getting the beat. So all I want on that track is the percussion, the drums, the drum set basically. So I'll be able to mute the final edit track, and not every time the bass drum beats, I'm going to change my scene, but whenever I decide to change from one video clip to the next, and I cut from one to the next, I want to make sure it's on the beat of the song. So I'll have that drum track separate from my final edit. That way I'll make sure I'm going to that beat. And because if you cut your scene to a different video clip between beats and not on the beat of the song, it's going to be very uncomfortable for your audience to watch, and they're not going to like it. So I would just make sure you have the beat of the song in mind. If you don't have a drum track separate from your vocals and your final edit, then I would just make sure I know the beat of the song before going in. But that's how you edit a music video. Next question, when location scouting, what kind of when location scouting, what kind of shots would you take on a location, and how many? As many as you possibly can. I know this question came in from our last episode on location, finding film locations. Take as many as you possibly can. If you go to a location with a film or script in mind, look at anything and everything. Take a shot of it. If it looks interesting to you that you might want to film one day, not necessarily on this project, but another one maybe, if it looks cool, take a picture of it and write down where you took that picture at. Because you never know. 5-10 years from now, you might be doing another film project and go, I vaguely remember this really cool location that we can do it on. But rather than having to go back there and location scouting again, you'll have photos already of it. So just take shots of everything you possibly can when location scouting. It's always important to do that. Final question, should you build your portfolio with client work, or should you make things specifically for your portfolio? If it's your first demo reel, then 100% of it is going to be, all stuff you made just for your demo reel. But beyond that, I think, your demo reel should be updated every 6 to 9 months, and at the very latest a year. But for every demo reel you do, basically your second has to have, I would say a little bit of client work in it at least. I remember my first demo reel, I did a bunch of car scenes, and before that demo reel, I never had a car company client. So I did it just for my demo reel to showcase that I can do it. And I think that's what a lot of people do nowadays. So I think what this question is all about is, can I shoot something just for my demo reel? And yeah, do it all the time. I mean, just because you don't have a client today doesn't mean you can't go out there shooting. Basically, I think the more demo reels you have, the more percentage you should have of client work in your actual reel in the end. So if it's your 5th or 6th demo reel, you should be probably getting close to 80 to 90% of client work in that demo reel. But I think in the end, I think no matter how many demo reels you have, I think you're going to be limited. I think to a certain extent of, if it's your 10th demo reel, doesn't mean you're going to have 100% of client work. I think you'll always want to have some personal work in there that you did beyond client work to showcase that you love doing this, and that you just don't work for clients, you work for yourself. So you'll want to always have a little bit of your own work in there. So that's our questions for today. If you'd like your question read on the show, please email us at questions@mhnews.info. Thanks for watching, and see us back here every weekday from now on. Monday through Thursday are video episodes, and Fridays are radio episodes, which is really, really freaking cool. So join us back here for that every weekday from now on. Have a good one, people, and see us next time.